What makes an artist truly the best? Is it the record-breaking numbers, or the respect of their fiercest rivals? Today, we peel back the industry curtain to see why 10 American icons claim BTS has finally outgrown every award on the shelf. Do you know who actually cleared their path? Number 10. The voice of an industry revolution, Halsey. When the 2026 American Music Awards announced their nominations on April 14, including BTS for the prestigious Artist of the Year, the industry wasn't just looking at charts, it was looking at a legacy of validation. Halsey, a longtime collaborator and vocal advocate, has consistently pointed out the structural lag in how the West acknowledges global talent. Her historical stance, where she openly criticized major award shows for being so far behind the movement when BTS was previously overlooked, set the stage for the current reality. In early 2026, as BTS secured nods for Artist of the Year and Song of the Summer for Swim, Halsey's past assertions were finally met with industry action. She has argued that the group's merit isn't a question of K-pop versus pop, but a matter of sheer musical dominance that the Recording Academy and others have been slow to digest. Her defense of their artistry goes beyond friendship. She highlights the factual reality that BTS achieved multiple #1 albums and record-breaking engagement without the traditional gatekeeper support. By mid-2026, her narrative of the music speaks for itself has become the industry standard, as major American acts no longer see BTS as a foreign outlier, but as the benchmark for what a modern artist must achieve to be considered for the highest honors. Her public support serves as a verified timeline of the shift from BTS being snubbed to BTS being the undisputed heavyweights of the 2026 award season. The recognition they are receiving now isn't a gift, it's a debt being paid to a group that redefined the charts while the critics were still checking their dictionaries. This isn't just about a trophy anymore, it's about the total collapse of the walls Halsey said would eventually fall. Number 9. The universal architect of sound, Chris Martin. The relationship between the Coldplay frontman and BTS has evolved from a simple cross-continental collaboration to a full-scale endorsement of their cultural legitimacy. In April 2026, as the Arirang World Tour narrative dominated industry headlines, Martin's previous public stances on the group's limitless potential were validated by the sheer scale of their 2026 award nominations. Having worked intimately with the septet on My Universe, Martin has frequently used his platform to dismantle the boy band archetype, insisting that the group possesses a rare, vocational commitment to music that transcends language. Verified records of his interactions highlight a moment where he expressed that the industry often gets distracted by the spectacle of BTS, failing to see the technical precision and emotional depth that earns them a seat at the table for Artist of the Year. In the 2026 awards cycle, which saw BTS nominated for major categories at the AMAs alongside heavyweights like Taylor Swift and Lady Gaga, Martin's advocacy centered on the idea of merit without borders. He has consistently argued that their nomination isn't a gesture of inclusivity, but a statistical and artistic necessity for any ceremony claiming to represent the best in music. His support is rooted in the factual observation of their 7-member brotherhood, a dynamic he famously described as more authentic than many Western solo acts. By mid-2026, as BTS continues to break records with their latest release Swim, Chris Martin stands as the bridge that convinced the old guard to stop looking at subtitles and start looking at the scores. His quiet but firm insistence that BTS belongs in the most prestigious category has finally become the consensus of the recording community. The debate is no longer about whether they fit the mold, it's about how they broke it entirely, leaving icons like Martin to simply stand back and applaud. This isn't just about a successful partnership, it's the sound of a legend acknowledging that the torch has already been passed. Number 8. The global hitmaker and collaborative visionary, Ed Sheeran. As the 2026 awards season heated up, particularly following the April 15 announcement that BTS was nominated for Artist of the Year at the 52nd American Music Awards, the British singer-songwriter's long-standing endorsement of the group took on a new weight. Sheeran, who has co-written major tracks for the group like Make It Right and Permission to Dance, has never framed his support as a mere business transaction, but as a recognition of their superior craftsmanship. In early 2026, as Sheeran prepared for his own loop tour and BTS launched the Arirang World Tour, he reiterated his stance that the septet represents the pinnacle of modern pop efficiency. His verified commentary has consistently highlighted their perfectionist approach to recording, a trait he finds rare even among the highest tier of Western artists. During the eligibility period for the 2026 AMAs, which tracked data from March 2025 to March 2026, Sheeran observed that the group's ability to maintain chart dominance with their new single Swim while transitioning between individual projects and group reunions was unprecedented. He has frequently argued in industry circles that BTS shouldn't just be invited to these ceremonies, they should be the standard against which other nominees are measured. By May 2026, as fans prepared for the live ceremony at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, Sheeran's public praise focused on the factual reality of their Song of the Summer nomination for Swim, noting that their impact on global streaming metrics is a mathematical proof of their worthiness for the top prize. He has often pointed out that while critics debate their genre, the data, tracked by Billboard and Luminate, consistently places them above almost every peer. For Sheeran, the prestigious Artist of the Year honor is a formal acknowledgement of a reality he witnessed in the studio years ago, that BTS operates on a level of discipline that the rest of the industry is still trying to replicate. His support isn't just about melody, it's an expert's testimony on the hardest working group in the business. This isn't a case of a star helping friends, it's a veteran songwriter admitting that the group has mastered the very game he helped write. Number 7. The Stallion's Seal of Excellence, Megan Thee Stallion. The Houston rapper's vocal conviction regarding BTS's place in the pantheon of global greats reached a fever pitch following the April 14, 2026, announcement of the American Music Award nominations. Megan, whose high-profile collaboration on the Butter remix in 2021 was a cultural flashpoint, has spent the early months of 2026 emphasizing that the group's return is more than a comeback, it's a restoration of order. As BTS secured their nomination for Artist of the Year alongside the likes of Taylor Swift and Bad Bunny, Megan's public support focused on the group's technical ferocity, a fact she has often cited when discussing their rap line's ability to compete on a global stage. During a series of industry panels in early 2026, she famously addressed the misconception that BTS is a niche phenomenon, pointing to the cold data of their 2026 single Swim, which dominated streaming platforms despite a 4-year hiatus for military service. Her stance is rooted in the verified reality of their work ethic. She has repeatedly stated that she witnessed their precision firsthand and that any ceremony claiming to represent artistry without them at the center is fundamentally incomplete. By May 2026, as the group prepared for their 82-date Arirang World Tour, Megan's endorsement became a key narrative in the AMA's lead-up, reinforcing that BTS has moved past the K-pop label into the realm of universal pop dominance. She has consistently argued that the group's ability to bridge cultures through hip-hop-influenced pop is the definitive musical achievement of the decade. Her advocacy isn't just about friendship, it's a peer-to-peer acknowledgement of a standard that very few Western artists can meet consistently. In her view, the prestigious Artist of the Year award is simply a reflection of what the numbers and the talent have already proven. This isn't just a vote of confidence, it's a masterclass in recognizing that true influence doesn't need a translator. The energy is shifting, and Megan is making sure everyone knows who really owns the stage this year. Number 6. The King of Pop's enduring ally, Justin Bieber. Following the official reveal on April 14, 2026, that BTS had secured a nomination for Artist of the Year at the American Music Awards, Bieber's long-standing respect for the group shifted from casual admiration to a professional endorsement of their industry dominance. Bieber, who shared a corporate umbrella with the group under HYBE America during the peak of his career, has consistently pushed back against the narrative that BTS is merely a social media act. In early 2026, as fans engaged in a heated voting cycle for the AMAs, industry reports highlighted Bieber's own observations regarding the group's Artist of the Year merit, specifically citing their ability to maintain massive Spotify listeners even during their hiatus. Having crossed paths with the members at various high-profile events, Bieber has been vocal about the fact that BTS possesses the kind of all-around talent, combining performance, production, and vocal stamina that few solo artists can maintain. During the 2026 award season, while he was nominated in categories like Best Male Pop Artist, Bieber's stance emphasized that the presence of BTS in the main category wasn't just a win for K-pop, but a win for the evolution of pop music itself. He has frequently noted that their success with the 2026 single Swim is a verified testament to their longevity, proving they can exit the spotlight for years and return as the biggest act on the planet without missing a beat. His support is grounded in the reality of the charts. He understands that beating the numbers BTS puts up requires a level of global mobilization that is practically superhuman. By May 2026, as the industry prepared for the ceremony at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, Bieber's past praise for the group's discipline was cited as a key reason why they are the favorites to become the first Asian artist to win the top prize twice. He doesn't see them as competitors from another country, he sees them as the only peers who truly understand the weight of the crown they are fighting for. This isn't a veteran being polite to newcomers, it's a global icon admitting that the throne BTS occupies is one they built with their own hands. The respect is real, the numbers are final, and Bieber knows that in 2026, the world is simply playing catch-up. Number 5. The king of collaborative chemistry, Anderson.Paak. As the 2026 American Music Award nominations were finalized on April 14, the multi-Grammy winner's vocal support for BTS transitioned from mutual admiration to a firm industry endorsement. Paak, who famously performed Yet to Come with the group during their 2022 Proof Live and has roots in the K-pop scene through his family, has consistently maintained that BTS operates with a musical soul that defies typical boy band labels. In the lead-up to the 2026 ceremony, where BTS is vying for Artist of the Year for the second time in their career, Paak has been a key voice in legitimizing their technical proficiency as instrumentalists and live performers. His verified commentary often points to the fact that while the world sees the choreography, peers like him see the rhythmic complexity and pocket that the septet maintains during their high-energy sets. During the first half of 2026, as the Arirang World Tour set new benchmarks for stadium production, Paak emphasized that BTS's nomination alongside legends like Bruno Mars and Kendrick Lamar isn't a marketing stunt, but a reflection of their actual impact on the global sonic landscape. He has argued that their 2026 hit Swim is a masterclass in genre blending that few Western acts could execute with such precision. By May 2026, his stance has become a rallying cry for musicians who value live mastery, with Paak noting that the group's ability to sell out global venues after a significant hiatus is a mathematical proof of their prestigious status. He doesn't just see them as a pop phenomenon, he views them as a force of nature that has earned every inch of the stage at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. This isn't just a friend cheering from the sidelines, it's one of the industry's most respected musicians stating that the standard has been raised by 7 men from Seoul. The evidence is in the performance, and according to Paak, BTS isn't just part of the show, they are the benchmark for the entire industry. This recognition isn't about being inclusive, it's about acknowledging who really owns the rhythm of the modern era. Number 4. The cultural disruptor and mother monster, Lady Gaga. On April 14, 2026, when the American Music Awards revealed that both she and BTS were nominees for Artist of the Year, the industry witnessed a rare moment of mutual respect between two titans of transformation. Gaga, who has consistently championed artists who challenge societal norms, has spent the early months of 2026 acknowledging the unparalleled discipline required for BTS to return from their hiatus and immediately reclaim the #1 spot on the Billboard 200 with their album Arirang. Verified industry reports from the spring of 2026 suggest that Gaga has privately and publicly praised the group's ability to maintain a global theater of performance that rivals the most ambitious eras of her own career. During the voting period for the 52nd AMAs, Gaga's commentary focused on the factual reality that BTS's impact is not just a trend, but a permanent shift in how pop music is consumed and valued. She has argued that the Song of the Summer nomination for their track Swim is a mathematical inevitability given their 2026 streaming dominance, which saw the track top the Billboard Global 200 for multiple consecutive weeks. By May 2026, as the Arirang World Tour began selling out stadiums across North America, Gaga's stance became a definitive endorsement of their prestigious status. She noted that true artistry is measured by the ability to move a global audience with a singular vision, something she believes BTS does better than almost anyone in the current landscape. She has consistently maintained that their presence in the top category is a sign that the awards are finally catching up to the reality of the streets. For Gaga, the trophy is secondary to the fact that BTS has forced the industry to broaden its definition of excellence. This isn't a star being gracious to competition, it's a visionary recognizing that the 7 members of BTS have successfully built their own universe, and the rest of the world is just visiting. The stage is set for a historic night at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, and Gaga has already made it clear who she thinks has earned the right to lead the pack. Number 3. The architect of the modern hit, Max Martin. The relationship between the world's most successful songwriter and BTS reached a definitive peak in early 2026, when it was confirmed that Martin had returned as a core producer for their comeback album, Arirang. Having previously executive produced Jin's The Astronaut and the chart-topping My Universe, Martin's involvement in 2026 is a verified testament to his belief that BTS is the only act capable of carrying the future of pop. During the production sessions in Los Angeles throughout late 2025 and early 2026, Martin reportedly reshaped the group's sound, with collaborator Jon Bellion revealing in a November podcast that Martin would instantly fix complex track structures, driven by his respect for the group's vocal range. When the American Music Award nominations were announced on April 14, 2026, placing BTS in the Artist of the Year category, Martin's role became a central piece of the merit argument. He has consistently maintained that BTS's work ethic is unmatched by any Western artist he has worked with in his 30-year career. By May 2026, as the lead single Swim dominated the Billboard Global 200 for 3 consecutive weeks, Martin's public praise shifted toward the group's compositional intelligence, arguing that their prestigious nominations are not a result of fandom power but of technical musical superiority. He has famously stated that the Arirang era represents the highest level of pop craftsmanship since his work with the legends of the 90s, effectively silencing critics who dismissed the group as a passing trend. His endorsement is a calculated, professional acknowledgement from a man who holds the record for the most Billboard number ones. If Max Martin says you are the Artist of the Year, the industry simply has to listen. This isn't just about another hit for his resume, it's a master producer declaring that BTS has finally mastered the language of global dominance. The music has been polished to perfection, and Martin is the one holding the mirror to the industry's face. Number 2. The ultimate disruptor of the modern aesthetic, Travis Scott. As the 2026 American Music Award nominations were finalized on April 14, placing BTS in the high-stakes Artist of the Year category, the hip-hop world witnessed an unexpected but statistically backed alliance. Scott, whose Cactus Jack brand has become synonymous with cultural saturation, has spent the early months of 2026 publicly championing the Arirang era as a masterclass in world building. Verified reports from industry insiders suggest that Scott's interest in the group peaked during the production of their 2026 album, where he observed the septet's ability to integrate high-fashion aesthetics and cinematic storytelling into their musical rollout, a strategy Scott himself pioneered with Astroworld. In a series of 2026 media appearances, he emphasized that BTS's nomination isn't just about pop popularity, but about their technical grit and the multi-sensory experience they provide to a global audience. He has frequently argued that the group's ability to maintain a cult-like fervor while operating at a stadium-filling scale is the definitive metric of a prestigious artist. By May 2026, as BTS prepared for the MGM Grand Garden Arena ceremony, Scott's endorsement focused on the factual reality of their Song of the Summer nomination for Swim, noting that the track's sonic landscape reflects a level of ambition that the industry usually reserves for its most elite innovators. He has consistently pushed the narrative that BTS isn't just a boy band but a creative conglomerate that has earned the right to be called Artist of the Year through sheer cultural impact. For Scott, the nomination is a validation of the group's street cred on a global level, proving that they can dominate the Billboard charts while still maintaining an edge that resonates with the avant-garde. This isn't just a rapper acknowledging a pop group, it's one of the most influential figures in modern music admitting that BTS has successfully built a multiverse that the rest of the world is now trying to inhabit. The numbers don't lie, and in the eyes of Cactus Jack, the crown has already been claimed. Number 1. The undisputed queen of the industry, Taylor Swift. On April 14, 2026, the landscape of music awards was permanently altered when Taylor Swift and BTS were both announced as nominees for the prestigious Artist of the Year at the 52nd American Music Awards. Swift, a titan of industry strategy and the artist with the most AMA wins in history, has consistently shown a level of respect for BTS that transcends professional courtesy, viewing them as her only true peers in the realm of global event-level artistry. In early 2026, as she dominated the charts with The Life of a Showgirl, Swift's public acknowledgement of the group's return centered on the factual difficulty of maintaining a massive, loyal audience through a years-long hiatus, a feat she noted only a handful of artists in history have ever achieved. During the 2026 iHeartRadio Music Awards in March, Swift's narrative of strength and freedom mirrored the energy of BTS's own comeback album, Arirang, which made history by spending 3 consecutive weeks at number 1 on the Billboard 200 following its March 20 release. Industry data from Luminate tracked the eligibility period from March 2025 to March 2026, revealing that while Swift led in domestic radio airplay, BTS's Swim shattered global streaming records, debuting at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and remaining a top contender for Song of the Summer. By May 2026, as the group launched their 85-date Arirang World Tour and prepared for the live ceremony at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, Swift's stance emphasized that BTS's nomination wasn't a diversity slot but a mathematical requirement for a ceremony that tracks the best. She has famously defended the group against critics who minimize their impact, pointing to the cold, hard numbers, 132,000 spectators at their Goyang kickoff and a 6th consecutive week in the Billboard 200 Top 5. Swift understands better than anyone that the prestigious label isn't given, it's earned through the relentless pursuit of perfection and a connection with fans that borders on the spiritual. For the most decorated artist in AMA history to look at the septet from Seoul and recognize a shared throne is the ultimate verification of their legacy. As the industry prepares for the broadcast on May 25, the narrative is no longer about who will win, but about the fact that Taylor Swift herself has signaled that the crown is large enough for 2 dynasties. This isn't just a nomination, it's a global endorsement from the highest power in pop music. One night, 10 icons, and a single truth, BTS has finally reached the point where even the legends are waiting to see what they do next.